take you further than if you want you not to pay your bills on time, if you can provide shelter for your family, oh Lord. Take your comfort and life away. Have humility and appreciation for those less fortunate than you. Someday, who knows, it could be you.
Yeah, I'll cover it if I can get there in time. Joel Stein is going to talk, and after she talks, then we're going to head over to Wells Fargo. And yeah, if I can cover it, I will.
Now, Testament. Thank you. Thank you so much.
The Nina Turner Conference, yes. Nina Turner Conference, 545 in front of Wells Fargo Center.
You dig? Hey, y'all, dig it. You know what time it is? It's time for a harvest for the world.
Yeah!
Huh?
Yeah! I'm ready.
Guys, don't go nowhere. They gonna sing because they're singers. But because of her, you up, don't worry. I thought they would give me 2 songs, but they come to work. So they coming back. But what we want to do, I appreciate that. They volunteered to give us some soul. Thank you, Chestnut Brothers. Don't go nowhere. I'm speaking for both of y'all in 2 nights. You were fabulous. I'm going to pass the mic to Gary, but you know what, guys? Here's what we're going to do. After Jill finishes, don't leave. Because the picture we took at 3 o'clock was not the real picture. This is going to be the real picture. So we're going to turn back around and we're going to do what we do. Matter of fact, we're just going to turn around and we're going to take this picture because we're going to show the world that we continue to grow, and through protests, through all this stuff, look around at where we are. So now, don't leave. I'm going to pass it around. We're going to do a picture that will shock the world. And for all you mainstream media, if you don't tell it, we will. Jill, not Hill. Jill, not Hill. Jill, not Hill. Jill, not Hill.
Jill, not Hill. Jill, not Hill.
And so, guys, I want to introduce my presidential candidate, Jill Stein.
You are amazing. We are the future. And we are that revolution of justice that is happening right now. You got it started, and together we are going to take it all the way until we prevail. We are a movement for people, for planet, and for peace over profit. And you said no to that zombie political party whose days are numbered, but our days have only begun. I want to give a special thanks right now to the Chestnut Brothers for lifting us up 2 feet off the ground where this energy is. I want to give a big thank you, a rousing shout for Bruce Carter and BlackMen4Bernie. I want to give a big thank you to Arn Manconi, U.S. Senate candidate for the Green Party, who will help us this going, who's also carrying the fight into the voting booth in Camden, New Jersey, running in the Green Party for City Council, Gary. Woo! Because when a social movement gets together with a political voice, that's when we really challenge power, as we must. As Frederick Douglass said, power concedes nothing without a demand, and we are that demand. We are that demand for economic justice, for racial justice, for workers' justice, for climate justice, for immigrant justice, for indigenous justice, for women's justice, for LGBTQ justice. As Martin Luther King said, injustice anywhere is a threat to justice everywhere. So we will be a unified movement, an unstoppable movement, because we are for all the forms of justice. We need every form, and when we get together, we say to their little plan, they would like us to be divided and conquered. They would like us to be a movement to stop fracking over there, and a movement to stop police violence over there, and a movement to stop deportations over there. We need to be all of those movements all together. That's how we are unstoppable. And when they try to pack us up back into the abuses of the past in the form of a political campaign with a candidate who has been the advocate for the big banks, for the prison industrial complex, for the war profiteers, for the fossil fuel giants. You know who I am talking about? Hillary! We say no to that lesser evil because the lesser evil has actually paved the way to the greater evil. That's because people stop coming out to vote for politicians who are throwing them under the bus. Even if someone else could do it even worse, people don't come out to support lesser evil politicians. That's how Congress flipped from being a blue Congress to being a red Congress in election after election. It was not a set of Republican victories. It was a set of Democratic defeats. Because the base workers would not come out. Immigrants would not come out. Labor, women, justice would not come out to vote for a party and candidates who are throwing us under the bus. In fact, when people say, oh, but you're going to give us Donald Trump, in fact, we already, what gave us Donald Trump? And it's not just Donald Trump. It's the whole lot of those Republican candidates for president, and it's not just in this country. We have a right-wing extremist movement which is rising up all over North America and Europe and beyond because of the policies exemplified, moved forward by the Clintons, by the multinational corporations, by the banks. We must stand up to them all. In fact, it was NAFTA and it was Wall Street deregulation brought to us by who? Bill. And who was cheerleading all the way? Hillary. Putting another Clinton in the White House is the worst thing we could do for Donald Trump and that movement. We will stand up to them. We are the ones we've been waiting for. We are the solution to the Donald Trumps of the world. I want to shout out in the biggest way possible to the movement to ensure that all Black lives matter. As Martin Luther King said not so long ago, he said we have a crisis of racism, of imperialism, and extreme materialism.
Yes.
They go hand in hand. We must end, for once and for all, this disaster of racism that is hardwired into our economy and a culture that was founded on the criminal institution of slavery. We must end it once and for all. We call for an end to police violence, but in order to address the racism of policing, we must also end the systemic racism in every area of our society. We call for a Truth and Reconciliation Commission to put this crisis of the legacy of slavery behind us for once and for all. We must share the outrageous stories which have continued from slavery to lynchings to Jim Crow to segregation to redlining to the war on drugs to the police violence to the incarceration state. This is a continuous line. We must sit down and share the stories of this abuse, and we must also sit down and share the solutions, economic solutions, housing solutions, school solutions. We must end the segregation, the apartheid state that we continue to live in, where the average African American family has only 5 cents on the dollar of the American family, the average Caucasian family. These outrageous disparities in health, in wealth, in education. This is another form of racist violence. It has real life and death consequences. So we are calling for specific solutions to end it all. End this emergency of racism that we see in police violence, but we must end it throughout society. And as part of that Truth and Reconciliation Commission, we call for reparations for the debt we owe to the African American people and the Native American people for our debt to all of them. And we lift up their human rights as essential human rights, along with the human rights of our immigrants, because those who were not brought here as slaves, those who were not brought here, actually who were not here to start with, whose land we stole, all the rest of us are immigrants. Let's be clear about that. The diversity of our nation is the real exceptionalism of America. American exceptionalism is our diversity, that we are people from all corners of the world who've come together to find our common humanity. That is what exceptionalism, human exceptionalism, is about, that we share with the whole world. I will just end saying that Black Lives Matter and that movement has been leading the way with incredible courage. Like all the other justice movements out here, the movement to make Black Lives Matter has stood up with incredible heroism and incredible danger for you. You are standing up for us all. Because until Black Lives Matter, no lives truly matter in this society and in this world. We call for an America that works for all of us, in which we value Black lives, and we call for a world that works for us, in which we stop the bombing of Black and brown lives around the world. I want to emphasize that right now, our military budget is eating up more than half of our budget, more than half of your income tax dollars. But what it has done is created failed states, mass refugee migrations, and worse, terrorist threats. Let's be clear where the terrorist threat first came from. This was a great idea hatched by the CIA and the Saudis in Afghanistan in order to stop the Soviet Union. They created the international jihad in the form of the Mujahideen. That was the crisis back then. And that monster has come back to bite us 1,000 times over. It's time for a new foreign policy based on international law, human rights, and diplomacy. Period. That provides us all the dollars we need so that we can have the right to a job, a good wage job for every American who needs a job. We call for an emergency jobs program to end the crisis of climate change right now. 100% renewables by 2030. Immediate ban on fracking, on all new fossil fuel infrastructure. We call for health care as a human right for everyone. And we call for a welcoming path to citizenship, an end to police violence, and an end to student debt. Let's bail out the students. We bailed out the crooks on Wall Street who crashed the economy. It's time to bail out the victims of that waste, fraud, and abuse. And to make public higher education free. I'm just gonna conclude saying, you are the future. You got this going. I am so honored and proud to be working with you and for you. We are together. We are one. This is the beginning. We will prevail. We are unstoppable together. Thank you.
Jill not Hill! 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 No, Jill not Hill! Jill not Hill! All the cameras. All right, guys, we're gonna take this epic picture. So, we're gonna take a picture from here. How you doing? Come on. We're gonna set a picture from here. This is the picture we're gonna show mainstream media. So mainstream media, if you want to show this picture, come up to the stage and we're gonna stand here and then you can tell the story how you want to story. Maryland.